On the 12th of August 2024, I was sick with COVID. I was sitting in my apartment in Rome, having on total 100 euros on all my accounts. At that moment, I was slowly realizing that I really have no money to pay for rent for the next month here in Italy, in the fucking middle of Rome. The project which I was working on didn't get further funding. That's why the whole team was laid off just the same day. Che sorpresa, see? Since my financial literacy is based on the phrase live for today, it's obvious that I didn't have any financial safety net. It's not like I've never been in such situation before. It's more like, oh no, hello my dear friend, happy to see you again. But a week later, I had an offer in my hands with better conditions and with higher salary. I think that proves that I know how to make a good 3D art for GameDev and how to find a job in GameDev even in the period of the massive crisis. By the way, I have recorded a workshop on how to find job in GameDev, and it is available on my ArtStation store, so you can help yourself and acquire this workshop, and you will know how really to find the job in GameDev pretty quickly. It is highly recommended by those who has acquired already this workshop, so you're welcome. I share there all my knowledge, everything what I know on this field, and I'm really successful in finding a new job every time when I need it. The link you can find in the description. So buongiorno everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel Anisa Genjo Art. This is me, Anya, or Anisa, but better Anya. And here I'm going to tell you again about 3D in GameDev, GameDev in 3D, GameDev in GameDev, trouble in trouble. I think you got the general idea. So the story which I'm going to cover today, you might have heard already 4,000 times, especially if you are watching my ZBrush live stream for Maxon. But today I want, like to make an official video where I will talk about my 10 years in GameDev, how I get here, and what have I achieved during these 10 years in this literally hell. Of course, remember to subscribe to the channel and to like the video and to share it on your social media. Seriously, is it hard for you? Do this for me, please. You will make me very, very happy. Okay, so let's find out which position the Saturn was in when I decided to connect my life with 3D and GameDev. And also how I managed to survive without wine and antidepressants. So let's start with the fact that I have never ever in my life been either a fan of video games or fan of drawing. I never wanted to be part of this. I always wanted to be an actress. I like public speaking, I like teaching, I like inspiring people. I wanted to be a diplomat, a public speaker. I wanted to talk to people, helping them to find the sense of life and find the beauty of life. So everything connected with public speaking was exactly what I wanted. But it has nothing to do with 3D, art, and video games. Right now, I can say that to some extent I got what I wanted, but it's not like a classic career path for 3D character artist. Classic profession 3D character artist is something different, and it's not really what I wanted and not really what I want. Surprisingly for you and very discouraging for me. I found myself in GameDev and in 3D by chance, by mistake, just for fun. Everything started when in 2014 I didn't get the job of a community manager in one Ukrainian GameDev company. I applied for the community manager position and I was rejected. But after seeing the office of this company, I made a decision that I really want to work here at all costs because I like the office, I like the atmosphere, I like the vibe. I didn't care at all on which position I could work there. I just wanted to work there. And since I've been rejected, I asked those who interviewed me about what can I do, what can I improve to get this position in future. And they told me that I'm too creative for this position and I should try to find myself in more creative field, not in the field of like community manager. So what I did, I googled the website of this company and I found the section creative or art and found there 2 open positions. The one position was open for 2D artist and another one for 3D artist. I immediately rejected the position of 2D art because I'm not drawing. I don't like drawing. It's like absolutely nothing to do with me. But the position of 3D artist was interesting because I've never heard about this. I had no idea how is it connected with game dev, how it is connected with art, just in general, what is it? So I went to Google and the first article which I happened to see was an article of a 3D character artist, Daniil Solovyov, who was working in that company, and in that article he was explaining how he made one of the characters for the game. And by mistake, by a big mistake, it seemed to me that the profession of 3D character artist is not that difficult. I was really convinced that for me it would be enough to go to courses to study 3D art for half a year or a little bit more, and then return and to apply to this company to the position of 3D character artist. And I was really convinced that I would have enough knowledge, enough experience, and that this company would want to hire me. How stupid I was. So I went to my mom, I borrowed $1,000, I enrolled for the courses. It was our local school of CG art in my region, in my city, and there was a course which lasted for 9 months, and there we were studying 3D, like in general. It was like 3D from Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, animation, VFX, something else I already don't remember. It was like a course about everything. You can ask me, Anya, did you manage to get the job in that company after you finished courses? Spoiler alert, of course no, because the courses explain to me how works Maya, how ZBrush works, how Dynamesh works, how Extrude works. But after finishing the courses, I had no idea how to create a GameDev character, optimized GameDev character, from the very beginning, from high poly to low poly, to Viz, to baking, and to texturing, and to the final rendering. Nobody explained me this. That's why I had no idea how to make a character from the beginning till the end. And here I think is the perfect moment to insert ad about my mentorship and my courses. And yes, here it is. If you want to learn how to make a 3D character for GameDev from very beginning to the very end, come to my mentorship. Send me a direct message in Instagram and I will explain you everything in more detail. I am in this industry already for 10 years. I have a lot of experience. I know how to make nice, cool characters for video games. And despite that I'm very much burned out, I know how to teach and know how to explain difficult material in simple words. All my mentees are always very happy. However, if you need a random regular tip on how to work in game dev, how to make something, to read an article or something like this, then you can follow my Patreon. They are $7. For $7, you receive a lot of useful information from me, starting from time lapses, small tutorials. And right now, for example, just yesterday, I've added an article on what you should not do when building your career path in game dev. Because sometimes you can make such mistakes which will echo in your career through all 10 years or even more, till the very end of your career. This article is already on my Patreon, so you can read it. Just $7. It's not enough. Sorry, yes, I did math for you. And it's like 3 cappuccinos here in Rome. It's 3 tickets for metro trains. It is 3 times less than subscription for the GPT chart. It's like 3 bottles of water. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. Bottiglia d'acqua. Stop me someone, please. So back to that company, I can say that, yeah, after courses, I didn't get the job there. And I can add to this that after courses, I spent 3 years uselessly looking for a job because I had no idea how to improve my portfolio, how to make my CV, where to send my CV. I didn't know who to ask for help, who to ask for feedback. That's why I was running circles for 3 years, stuck in one place, until one day I made like a crucial decision, which really really helped me to land at my first decent job. And these 3 years of job search, it was like a complete hell. It's right now, after 10 years, I am professional and I can make like a professional strategy of career building for anyone who wants to land in 3D. But at that time, I was stupid and I didn't know anything. That's why I spent so many years on this. In summer 2018, I made a decision that I give myself 1 month, during which I'm going to send my CV to absolutely every open job where the word 3D, and I didn't care whether it is junior position, senior, middle, art director, whatever, environment, character, I didn't care. I gave myself 1 month, after which, if I failed to get the job after this month, I would go back to my main profession in which I have graduated. I graduated in languages, so officially I am a certified teacher and interpreter of English and Italian languages. So that was my plan. And what do you think? It's crazy, but by the end of the month, I landed a good job in GameDev. So how did it happen? I had an interview with outsourcing company. At that time, during that interview, I didn't even check the website. I had no idea what this company is working in. I just wanted to get a job. So I was completely agreed to do whatever they asked me in this fucking 3D. Immediately after the interview, they made me an offer. And together with the contract, which I had to sign to work in this company, the company sent me NDA contracts with their clients. And when I was signing the NDAs, I realized that I am signing contracts with Riot Games and Blizzard. And I was so much shocked that somehow the universe sent me a job where I could work with Blizzard and Riot Games, the companies which I adored, which was for me like the biggest dream, which I had no idea how I could ever achieve in my life. The name of this company was Dragonfly Studio, Bulgaria-based outsourcing company, a great company. My first job, the company which built my reputation, the company which taught me almost everything what I know now, company which gave me an opportunity to work on Heroes of the Storm, Darksiders Genesis, Ruin King, the company which helped me to grow up as a decent 3D character artist. And at the same time, it is the company after which I really wanted to give up 3D and never ever come back to this again. After 2 years working at Dragonfly, I felt so much burnt out that for half a year I didn't even look for another job. At that time, I started my YouTube channel, GameDev from Girl, which is in Russian and which is now in Ukrainian. And I had so much fun recording videos for this channel. But unfortunately, YouTube didn't bring me a lot of money. It was like $5 in a month. And of course, it's like impossible to live for $5 in a month. At least 7, but no, only 5. But after 6 months of doing nothing, I decided to go to work in studio because I needed money. And for a year and a half, I was working in other outsourced studios, and as well as I was working in like product companies which were making games. And to tell the truth, I didn't like none of the places where I was working. They paid me much better than like before on my previous jobs, but I didn't like the project. I felt that I'm not developing my skill. I'm just losing my time, and in general, I didn't like the projects. They were just not that beautiful as I had before. And that's why I didn't like a lot that job, and I was constantly torn between my desire to continue making YouTube, continue recording content about 3D, and go into a studio because you need money. And then a little bit later, the war started. And when the war started, I changed the studio where I was working to another studio which was paying me even more, just because it was war. I really needed money, and come on. And at the same time, I was invited to be a mentor for CG Spectrum, an international computer graphics school. And actually, I continue working for them even right now. It's already for more than 3 years, and I really like mentoring, teaching people 3D art. The studio which I started working with at the beginning of the war, I very quickly decided to leave this job because of the conditions which they had there, and I decided that there is no money which can make me work in such conditions there. But there's going to be another story which I'm going to record to my Patreon. not today, but a little bit later. So if you don't want to miss the story, subscribe to my Patreon. It's like $7 a month, not a lot. However, I want to say that during the past 3 years of war and the massive crisis in the industry, a lot of things happened to me which were beneficial for my reputation as a qualified, as a professional 3D character artist. I was invited to be ambassador and to become a mentor at the Think Tank Training Center, which is, according to the statistics, one of the best CG schools in the world. And I'm very proud to be their mentor even now. I also started my YouTube channel in English, which is Anissa Genjo Art, and I was invited to become a ZBrush live streamer for Maxon, and this is something what I really adore, and I can't stop talking about the fact that I'm Maxon's ZBrush live streamer, because it's a fact which I'm very, very, very much proud of, because it was one of my biggest dreams. And also during these years, I created my mentorship, I created workshop on how to find job in game dev, I created a course on how to render characters in Marmoset, and all this is already available on my ArtStation store if you need this. I know how to teach people. That's why I know for sure that my courses are of high quality and very beneficial for you and for your skill. Another interesting and weird fact which I had during the past 3 years is that I had an opportunity to relocate to California, from Ukraine to California, to work in Riot Games, but I rejected. I turned it down because, I don't know, I was stupid enough to reject. Of course, I regret a lot about this right now, but happened what happened. Also, in March 2024, I was invited by the Adobe to make a speech at the Game Development Conference GDC in San Francisco, and that was like astonishing experience. I'm so much grateful to Adobe to bring me from Ukraine to San Francisco, for showing me the scale, the opportunity which the world gives for 3D artists. That was such a great experience. And also later that year, I was invited by Maxon to make a speech at IBC conference in Amsterdam, which was another amazing experience where I met a lot of so talented, so open, so friendly artists, and it was such a great opportunity to know all these people. So I'm so much grateful for this, to my life, to Maxon, to Destiny, which I have. And a month ago, I also acted as a speaker at our internal Ukrainian conference, which is Game Gathering, where I made a pretty inspiring speech about difficult period in the life of us as 3D artists, but everything's going to pass. The crisis is going to be over, and then the industry will have another birth. Also, last year, Maxon invited me to the closed alpha testing of that brush for iPad, which is completely amazing tool. I really adore it. And also Maxon published one of my works on their website, and I don't know, for me it's like recognition. I'm so far away from all this world because I'm from eastern part of Europe, from the place which is so far away from the companies, from this heart of the industry. So for me it's I feel like it's a big recognition for me. On the downside, in 2024 I can say that I was laid off 3 times, and I feel so sorry for that, because the company, the projects which I was working on, is like a jackpot. I liked everything. I liked project, conditions, salary, everything about this 3 projects I liked. But cuts in funding means that part of the team was going to be laid off, and I really sorry that it happened to me. And actually, since it happened 3 times this year, it really gave me kind of emotional damage a little bit. That's why right now I feel like I am deliberately not sending my CV once again, because I just don't want again to go through this period of accommodation for a new job. It's always kind of difficult period, and that's why right now I am concentrated much more on my YouTube channel, on my courses, on my Patreon, on my social media life, more than on looking for another job. But I know how to do it. I know that I can find a new job in 1 week, in 2 weeks, but I'm not hurrying with this right now, because I really need to have some rest to understand that this world can give you time to have some rest, that you don't need to be in a constant rush, especially when you live in immigration like I'm right now, because I, as you know, from Ukraine, I left my country like 6 months ago, and right now I'm still trying to understand how to live my life here in Italy. Thanks God I speak Italian, but it's still very, very difficult. So that was my story, how I became 3D artist and what happened to me during these 10 years in the industry. I can't say that I regret for becoming a 3D artist. I can say that I would change the whole career a little bit differently. I would push my career a little bit more in public speaking, which I adore, than just going like the classic way. But that's my way, and I'm proud of having it right now. And this is it for today. Hugs you all. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Remember about my Patreon. Remember about my mentorship and my courses. I would be very glad to see you everywhere. Subscribe to my social media. And by now, I wish you everyone peaceful skies, a little slice of Italian dolce vita, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Ciao!